in the first round of the draft. It's not one of the more star-studded drafts that we've seen.
Yeah.
But apparently that might not stop Jerry Jones from trying to move up if there's someone that Dallas really wanted to get.
I would trade up this draft and just going in as much as you can say about it until you see what's there, who's on the other end of the line. But, yeah, I would trade up to, since we're down as low as we are in those first 2 or 3 rounds, if we had a chance to and somebody that we had really coveted was sitting at the bottom, we were able to trade up and get him.
By the way, they need a tackle. They need another receiver.
They have 9 picks in the draft, one pick in each of the first 4 rounds.
I'm for this. If you told me they landed one of the top 4 tackles, because Lyle Collins is gone and Tyron Smith, so they have to get a tackle. And there's like 4 great ones and then another 4 or 5 solid ones. If you told me they moved up to get a tackle and a receiver, and this is a good draft for tackles and receivers, and instead of 9 picks, they got 5, I'd be like, because we know the roster's fine, but it's an offensive league. We don't trust McCarthy. They cannot be below average at tackle. And right now...
No, they have to have a great...
Yeah.
The way that this team is set up, they have to have a great good to great offensive line to even be competitive.
Yeah, so I have no...
Do you like Jerry saying this, though?
Yeah, what he's saying is I'm open for business. Most people in this draft, Joy, are moving backwards.
Yeah.
Jerry's saying, I'll go up. I don't think... Again, the New Orleans Saints, people are banging on the Saints for the Philadelphia deal, but what they need is a wide receiver and a tackle like Dallas. So the needs for the Saints and the Cowboys are the same thing, and both are saying there's some good premium stuff up there.
Right, this is the draft to do that.
It's probably gone by the 17th, 18th pick. So, you know, again, I don't think it's a great draft.
I think this will be a very interesting scout draft. And listen, I do not envy scouts. I find it fascinating that you have to risk your name predicting what a young kid coming out of college is going to do at the next level. But because we're banging so much on how this is not a high level talent draft and there's no real stars and it's good to not great, I do wonder how we're going to look back on this draft in about 3 years and see if we were all right about that.
Listen, I like the process and the architecture of a draft. I don't care about the players, but the players notwithstanding, I like the draft because I like watching teams try to fill holes and spaces, and I think it's a blast.
I also love seeing, I was watching, who was it, Juju Smith-Schuster when he got the call from the Steelers. Like, I love watching draft day, the moments with the families and stuff. That's why the draft, I mean, obviously we're not going back to this, but when everyone had to have their home cams was so cool because you don't get to see all of them because some of them are at draft day, which is going to be a scene in Vegas, by the way.
Good stuff, Joy, with the news.
Well, that's the news.
None of the bull. Just because of what I do for a living, I have to negotiate contracts every few years. Okay, and when you negotiate a contract, and many of you have done this, some will do it, some won't do it. It's fine. I don't love doing it. I have to hire a representative. I don't want to go, face to face with my bosses and puncture our relationship, right? So when you go into a contract negotiation, this is pretty obvious, but I'm just going to lay it out for you. You get some stuff and you don't get stuff. Nobody gets everything. Tom Brady didn't get everything. You don't get everything. And so it's very important. There's only 8 players in the league that have a no-trade clause, meaning you can't send them to a crappy team. Russell Wilson had one. Mahomes has one. And now Derek Carr has one. And it's important to note that Derek Carr, Mahomes, took less money. Russell Wilson could make more money. But they're not just about money. They like money. I like money. You like money. We all like money. But those quarterbacks said, I'll take a little less money, but you're not sending me to a crappy team. I want to win games. So I'll take a little less money. I'll get better teammates, and you can't trade me to a crappy team. Aaron Rodgers said, I don't need a no-trade clause. Just give me the most money you can. Isn't that interesting? He signed that contract with Green Bay knowing, we know this now, knowing Davante Adams was leaving. Still signed it. Knowing it would make the Green Bay front office trapped. Not a lot of flexibility with his deal to get star receivers. That's when they're not bidding on anybody. Aaron didn't care. Give me the most money. I want to be the highest paid guy. He has every right to do that. But Derek Carr signed a contract yesterday. It's like Patrick Mahomes. It's like Russell Wilson. It's not all the money he could have gotten, and it has a no-trade clause. You can't ship me off to a lousy franchise. I'm not going to allow that. I want to go to a winner because I'm about winning. Here's Derek Carr.
Everyone looks at like certain numbers and they're going to say, oh, well, you know, they're not going to get the whole picture of how it's structured and how we did things. So we made sure, you know, guys like Chandler, guys like Devontae, guys like hopefully Hunter and Foster, and those guys can stay here, you know, the way we structured it. You know, I went through a heartbreak already last time I signed my contract. My best friend left, you know what I mean? And I didn't want that to ever happen again.
People tell you what matters to them. Derek Carr's telling you winning matters. I'm going to take less so I get more good players. And if you do get rid of me, I get to say no to a lousy franchise. That's the Mahomes deal. Not all the owners in the NFL and the NBA care about winning. They don't. The guys that own the Bucks care about winning, right? Steve Ballmer with the Clippers, that dude wants to win. Not all NBA and NFL owners are about Jim Irsay in Indianapolis. That dude wants to win. Carson Wentz drove him nuts. Get him out of town. I don't care. I respect that. Because you think all these owners care about winning. No, they don't. A lot of them, I'm getting the check. Dan Snyder doesn't care about winning. Washington, he doesn't care. Winning, he'd like to win. A lot of people say they'd like to win. A lot of quarterbacks say they'd like to win. Aaron would like to win. He took money. Because in a contract negotiation, even Aaron Rodgers, you don't get everything. So Aaron's choice, just give me the money. I don't care about not. You can trade me anywhere at the end if I get my money. Pat Mahomes, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson. It's not that. They're going to take a little bit less. You're not going to be able to put me on an island with a bunch of stiffs. I totally respect that. I'm not saying you can't just take the money. Like the wide receiver, go take the money. Quarterbacks, coaches, your legacy's built on playoff wins and Super Bowls. Love what Derek Carr did. I think it's. I said this week. There's 12 quarterbacks in this league that are capable, in my opinion, of winning a Super Bowl. Derek Carr is one of them. Maybe closer to 12 than one or two, but he's one of them. Good day for the Raiders. Joy with the news. No. Years I was critical of him. But he talked yesterday, went 90 minutes, and you know if Baker talks, I'm going to talk about it. At this point, you know, he's probably not a franchise quarterback. He's more of a bridge quarterback. There's no real market for him. There was a story out of Seattle today. The Seahawks wouldn't mind him, but they're going to go with Drew Lock. So there's really no market for him. So yesterday he sat down, and this happened months ago, I guess, but it was released yesterday. It was sort of a rambling, off-the-cuff, not terribly prepared, 90-minute conversation with a guy in a camo hat, probably a buddy. I've said before, Baker talks too much, often too rambling, very impulsive. So let's start with this. This was what Baker had to say about, for his new team, this is how he's going to approach his new teammates.
I'm not going to force it. I'm going to be myself because I feel like I tried to force it when things on the field weren't going well in the past couple of years. I feel like I'm going to go in there and be myself because that's worked for me in the past. If I'm worried about getting them to like me, what am I doing? They don't care if I like them either. They want their quarterback to win. They're trying to get a paycheck. If their team wins, they get paid. So the guys that don't really personally like me, that's fine. But I have to have their respect. And the way I do that is just working my ass off, me and myself. Because you can get sniffed out in a heartbeat if you're fake.
So you're not going to change. I don't know. I think I'd change a little. The last 4 years have been snark, disappointment, combativeness, medical staff, coaches. Baker was in a hole. He grabbed a shovel and just kept digging. Once again, he talks too much. It wasn't calculated. It wasn't prepared. 90 minutes is way too long. And go get a professional like Jim Gray. That's what Brady did. Instead, he admitted he has a Napoleon complex, that booing bothers him, that the media bothers him. Weakness. Can't control his emotions. Inability to adapt. I'm just going to do what I do. Folks, most successful people, and what I'm about to say, in my life has always been true with no exceptions. The most successful people have a perfect personality match for their job. I've known 1,000 salespeople. The dozen or so that are great are social, charismatic, affable. They're great salespeople. Their personality's perfect for it. Doesn't mean you can't be a salesperson without those qualities, but you're not going to be as good as the person who has the perfect personality match. I've had 3 or 4 accountants. The best accountant I currently have, super detailed, regimented, incredibly reliable. He's great. He wouldn't be a good salesperson, and a salesperson wouldn't be a good accountant. This is why Brady is so great, and Peyton Manning was so great, and John Elway was so great, because their personalities, Russell Wilson is so great. Their personalities were perfect for the position, are perfect. To be a great franchise quarterback, there are things that matter. It's not your arm strength. We've had a lot of guys without great arms. It is toughness. Baker is that, by the way. Baker's tough. I'll defend him forever on the toughness. Emotional discipline. Highly prepared. Very accountable. Never play a victim. Fall on the sword for teammates. Baker's an artist. Baker's a linebacker, a wide receiver. He's